on this week's Rated G.
I mean, as you know, I'm bad at words, so I'm really asking you.
Dude,
You
you're not
teach
the
me
only
one.
one.
So
Don't even put that on my. Do I have to sacrifice everything just to fit in? And that's what the world is becoming these days.
you have toxic masculinity, right?
Mm.
I believe we have toxic enabling. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another special edition to the Rated G podcast. I am your host, G. Terado. For those of you who are here, who have been here before, welcome back, and thank you for your continued support. And for everyone else who is new here, welcome to the show. Here on the podcast, I like to sit down with fellow artists and creatives locally or around the world, and we sit down and have honest discussions related to all things art and creativity, as well as other aspects in life. So if you enjoy this type of content, please be sure to hit that follow, like, share, subscribe, comment. It's all out of order. Ring the notification bell, that way you can keep up with the current uploads. If you are listening, definitely be sure to check out the YouTube channel. That way you can, just see the visuals and other content that I post on there. All right. And when I am featuring a guest, please check out the show descriptions. That way, if you are interested, you can follow not only myself, but my guest on social media. You can join their creative journey and all that goodness. All right. So let's get right into it, because I'm super stoked. Joining me from across the world is my very good friend, fellow artist from Luanda, Angola, now living in Portugal. So let's welcome back for his 5th solo appearance, the one and only Gerson Lemos.
So that's the fifth, huh?
Yes, sir.
And as the time goes by, the intros is getting longer and longer.
It is, and I'm working on it. I'm working on trimming it down. I know it takes me a couple minutes to get through all that jibber jabber, but it
But it's
helps.
necessary.
It helps build the hype, right? A little bit.
Listen, so as you mentioned, I'm now living in Portugal and I'm sharing the house with a few fellows. So if you see someone moving through, you already know.
Yeah, no, it's all good.
Nice.
Yeah, all good in the hood.
All good in the hood.
All good in the hood, man. So yeah, bro. How's living in Portugal since the last time we spoke?
I think it was 3 weeks ago or 2.
Oh wow, really? It felt like sooner than that.
But maybe 3 weeks ago. I don't know. I'm bad with
It's fine.
with memory.
I mean, that's irrelevant, but
Anyway.
it's been a little bit ago.
It's been a while. Let's just put it like that.
Yeah. So yeah, how's it been?
Well, so far so good. There's nothing bad going on, which is good. Things are good. There's not much to say. Just a different, new experience, new everything. Yeah, so far so good. Like really good.
What would you say is different than living in Angola?
Well, obviously, first things first, the weather.
Okay. How so?
Well, because Angola is in Africa, so it's normally tropical hot. So it's like really hot. But here is the opposite. Especially right now, it's like the winter, so it's freaking cold. It's like 10 degrees. Yeah, 10, 9, sometimes 8. Yeah, but I like cold temperature though. I like the weather. Like the weather is like very, very good. Especially for my nose situation.
Really?
So far no crisis. No sinusitis crisis. Perfect. I've been breathing like using my nose easily, no effort. So yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
I would think that the cold would affect your sinuses.
No, it's actually the opposite. Even in Angola, whenever it was like winter time, I will be living perfectly. But during summer, yeah, it's a different ball game.
Huh.
Yeah,
Oh, oh,
especially
no, I'm sorry. What were you
now.
saying?
Now
Especially
you can go.
what?
You can go. You can go.
I was just gonna say, I wonder if maybe the heat and humidity, if that affects your sinus, maybe.
Yes, it does. It does. It does. It does. Or normally when there's like the shift, and the shift is just like too abrupt. Like let's say right now it's cold, and out of the blue it's now hot. Yeah, it does affect me as well. But if
Yeah,
it's just cold all the way, I'll be living comfortably.
I'm like
Yeah.
that too. I have like, I mean, some people say, I don't know if this is correlated to like seasonal allergies, but I know for me, when there is a drastic change in
Hmm.
temperature, yeah, say,
Drastic with capital D as always.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that happens here too. Actually, that's happened a couple times here because it's it's fall season and
Hmm.
it's starting to get cooler. But there was like at one point there was like a weekend where it was like summer temperatures again, and we're like, what in the hell? So yeah, and yeah, with me, my allergies react the same way. So when it's like
Hmm.
my body's used to the warmer wet temperature, and then suddenly
Hmm.
it's cold, and so like my body having to like acclimate, and then it
Hmm.
goes through like that allergic
Mm. And it's interesting or funny that you're saying warm temperature. There is no such thing as warm in Africa. It's
So
like hot, straight hot. I mean,
okay,
not all the countries because we have pretty much all of the landscape. We have desert in Angola. We have like jungle. We have like plateaus. So the weather is very diverse, but mostly hot. Mostly.
so
We're
well,
talking about
okay.
like 45 or like 35, 39 degrees.
You guys do Celsius or
Yes, Celsius.
okay? Yeah. See, I'm not my
Because
brain.
you guys are the Maverick, right? You don't use Celsius. You guys
Yeah,
go
I
with
know.
Fahrenheit.
I know. So yeah, but I mean, so I don't know if you can do the math quickly, quicker than me, probably. But
Mm,
I mean, like warm temperatures here in Fahrenheit is like like
mm,
74, 75. Like
mm,
they say room temperature is like 73 or like 73 to 75 is like room temperature. So whatever
mm,
that is in Celsius, like that's considered warm. But
mm.
I'm
Well, I
not
would have to calculate, and I'm bad with math, so I'm
okay.
not gonna.
Well, I'm not gonna make you do. I'm terrible at math too, but also I'm not gonna make you do the math in your head.
Is it? By the way, is there any artist that is good at math? Hmm.
Uh, maybe.
Is it a one or two? You can't have both for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to say I'll
Hmm.
say that the artists that are very business minded are
Hmm.
probably good at math,
Hmm.
but
I see.
that's just
But
my that's just my thought. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but
But I wonder that I think it's more like design or drawing math based, not really like equation and stuff.
yeah, well, that's the thing. Like even with design, right? Like yeah, you're putting in numbers. So
Yes, like proportion and
you're always editing numbers for
mm,
scale or ratio
ratio and
and
all
all
that.
that. Yeah, like even in like 3D animation, right? You're just
Mm,
it's like you're just punching in numbers to whatever when you're trying to
yeah.
model something. So yeah, but when it actually comes to like problem solving math, like
Mm.
converting really fast, like I don't know.
Ain't
Yeah.
nobody got time to find X. He's always like disappearing for some reason.
Yeah. Like, because like there's artists out there, especially like fine artists that work in large scales, they chart
Mm,
like the way they charge for their art, they do like, I don't know, X amount of dollars per square
mm.
inch.
Woo.
So it's just like I wonder if you were going up to them and be like, "Oh, how much is for a,
Mm,
something something by something," and see if they could
mm.
calculate that real quick. Like, I don't know, but uh
My, my problem with math mostly is because of it bends the laws of logic. Sometimes it does make sense. Sometimes it doesn't make sense. Sometimes you make it make sense just to solve your current problem. For instance, let's say you have like 10 chickens and you multiply it by zero. So now zero just transform in this black hole. And out of the blue, 10 chickens are zero. Dude, where are my chickens? It
Yeah,
makes no sense.
yeah, and I mean, shit, the way they, at least here in our school systems, like I know they've changed, or I've seen videos of how they've changed the way to solve math problems, like long division or like whatever. Like there's like weird steps to it now, as opposed to how we used to do it, which was like we always
Nice.
worked our way down.
Mm,
Like at
always.
least in terms of like division or multiplication, right? We always like worked our way down, hitting each digit of the number. But now there's like a whole fucking weird
Like a
quasi.
shortcut almost.
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't know. I saw one clip and it looked like a longer process than.
Forget it.
Yeah, I just remember seeing the way they did it in the video. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, just do like, I don't know, whatever.
Regular.
Just do the conventional way. I don't know why they have to anyway. All right, off topic, because I know you love anime. Did you
Hmm.
watch were you a fan of Yu Yu Hakusho, the anime series, or no?
No,
Oh,
no.
okay.
But I've seen a lot of memes. I think I'm like aware of the plot now.
Oh, okay. I asked
A little
because they
bit, a little
they,
bit.
they just dropped the Netflix trailer for the
Oh
live action.
yes, yeah. The live action. Is it a movie or a TV show?
I want to say
Or
it's a
TV
show.
series?
I could be
Hmm.
wrong. Either way, judging by the visuals, and I know like
Hmm.
nowadays we shouldn't just judge it by a preview, but I will
No,
say
but this is like cosplay, man. Come on.
I
If they
know
are
it
gonna
is, but it looks
if
pretty
they
good. It looks
okay,
pretty
cool,
good.
cool.
I mean,
It's
to each
supposed to
their
look
own.
like it's supposed to resemble like the original material. If it doesn't resemble, like if they change it up like they did with Death Note, I don't know.
See, I don't know about that because I never watched Death Note, but like,
Don't watch it. Just don't do it.
okay. Well, even like
I mean, the anime you
live
should
action.
watch. It's a must. But the live action, forget
Well,
it.
that's what I mean. Like, I mean, a lot of live action adaptations. I don't know. Sometimes I pay attention, sometimes I don't. Like it's on my radar, like I know about it, but I don't watch it. But like Death Note in general, I've had, of course. I think you were probably one of them trying to put me on the show, and I never watched the original anime, but
Dude, you're missing out.
I know,
Big
dude.
time. Big time.
Well, let me say this, right? Because now I'm doing well. This year has been like the busiest year for me with the weekend events. And I've been sort of like taking notes and mental notes on like what fan art to bring to the table. So I've been, anytime someone's asking if I have this character or someone from this show, and when I don't, I always like make note of that. So
Okay, okay,
you know,
nice.
yeah. So I mean, no one has asked me if I had any, Death Note art or whatever. So but that's why I did the Luffy illustration.
Mm,
Someone asked if I had any One Piece. Of course, this was like before the Netflix show came out. So I
mm,
just yeah. But anyway, the Yu Yu Hakusho trailer looked a little promising, and
mm,
like you can tell who the characters were. It has a like so far it appears it has like a night like it fits the tone too. Like it's dark.
mm.
It's not
Nice,
it doesn't
nice.
look too cheeky or cheesy. Because like I don't know if you watch the One Piece live action, but I mean it is a different type of show tonality wise, but
Mhm.
I mean One Piece was very well, yeah, that's not a fair comparison, but I'm just gonna say it from what I've seen, Yu Yu Hakusho, the
Is
trailer shared like the same tonality as the anime. So
okay, nice.
yeah, we'll
Well, as
see.
long as they capture the main traits of the animation, That's perfect.
I mean, this even like some of the special effects that they
Mm,
showed like looked pretty decent, So
mm,
we'll just see. I'll say I'm curious enough to check it out, and then
yes.
maybe I might jump in on the original series. We'll see, because
So you
that's
haven't watched as well?
I like way long ago, like when I was in high
No.
school, I was watching it a little bit, and then I kind of fell off at some point. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, well, that's just how I am now.
And and you probably should revisit because maybe because of the movie, there'll be a lot of commissions or suggestions. Maybe
Yeah, I
same
mean,
thing happened with One Piece, like you mentioned.
yeah, exactly. It's a possibility, So we'll see. But yeah, man. What shall we talk about? Because I will say when you're on here,
There ain't no script. We just shoot the shot.
there really is. Well, so like yes and no, because I make notes just in
Okay,
case.
nice.
But like
Mm,
we've talked about this plenty of times.
mm.
We do just kind of shoot the shit, as we say. Um, but if there is very one theme that we do always get into. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. You sure you want to go? You sure you want to go down that path? Hmm.
Yeah, let
Okay.
me let me preface with this for the audience. When my
Hmm.
good friend Gerson has been coming back to the show, we always find ourselves in a deep conversation about society, especially woke society. I mean, I'll even
Yeah.
say even more so about woke society because, well, at least for me, I do find it I find it curious to like pick your brain about how
Hmm.
Western society has
Hmm.
presenting itself to you or your where you're at. So I'm always curious to pick people's brains like from around the world, see
Hmm.
what they think about America. Like not that I care, but I'm just curious because at least me being in the inside, right? Being here and kind of seeing it like you are, I'm just like, man, it's hard for me to like say without hesitation, like I'm a proud American. It's like, I don't
Hmm.
know if I really am.
Okay. Like where this is going already. Hmm.
And I don't know. I'll say, on the podcast, on social media, when you and I are conversing or commenting or whatever, it seems like we're kind of on the same page
Hmm.
on some of these things. So, you know, I guess that's like why, at least for me, why I like getting into this topic with you, because I mean, it's good to have
Different opinions. Yeah. But
yeah, like you like and I'll even ask this question because this is on my notes. Is like what do you think you and me disagree on?
that's a tough one.
Is it? Because
Hmm.
again, right? I'm definitely not trying to make assumptions that
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and agree on everything.
Everything, yes.
But but again, just like I said before, it seems like we tend to be on the same page on a lot of ideas, and I'm always open for especially my friends to like not call me out, but to be like, to just give me some insight on
Hmm.
other perspectives. So, but again, it just seems like when it comes to you, when you see like especially the shit I be posting on my personal accounts, like not that I like anticipate it, but I don't, you don't confront me about it. So it kind of seems like, you kind of like agree with some of the things that I say, or at least the opinions I express about these certain things that are going on. So,
Hmm.
so yeah, you can't think of anything at the moment on what we disagree
Well,
on.
It's tough. It's tough. I don't recall we talking about anything and we disagree, like subjects or topics. I don't know. I don't know. Right now, nothing occurs to me. Nothing.
Yeah,
But
interesting.
I think probably just we never talk about it, but probably just religious topic, maybe. If we do get into it anytime in the future, maybe. Because yeah, religion is like pretty different regardless of where you are in the world. So maybe that would be one.
Well, here
Two.
let's propose this question, and we don't have to get too into it
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah, sure.
I'm not very knowledgeable on religion. So let that be my answer about whether if I'm religious or not.
Not.
I'm like I'm not I don't claim to be religious, but I will say that I do believe in a form of higher power.
Okay.
Like there'll be like I was raised Catholic,
Oh,
um,
nice.
but I don't know, like I will say there are moments, dire moments, where I'm, whether you want to call it praying or what, I just say there are moments where I'm speaking to God or
Mhm.
whomever, like whatever name label you want to put on it. But I do kind of like speak up to the higher power, whether I'm just asking for help or whatever. So if you want to call that praying, sure. But I'm just, again, like if I went to church, which I always refuse to go, but I
Mhm.
never, I have no knowledge of like, I don't remember any of the things that they say or anything. Like when I went to church, I used to just go for the crackers and wine. That was I was going for breakfast. It was breakfast at church.
That's free food. I mean, I'm not gonna deny free food. Go. I know. Got
Just
it.
let me get a little Ritz cracker and a sip of wine.
No, I get it. I get it. It's at some point, like every kind of religion kind of converts into trying to figure out who this entity is. Because we do believe, like you said, and I also share the same feeling and the same idea. I do believe there's someone there, something out there. There is. Because without it, the world kind of doesn't make sense. If you put a science to it, just science alone, still there's like missing pieces that only science cannot like fix it or cannot like give it the bigger picture. So yeah, there must be and there is actually someone out there looking up for us, or looking out for us. And yeah, like you said, we can make this, okay, you can do this kind of exercise because if you're like whenever you feel like anxious, whenever there's like a problem or something, your first instinct or your first intuition is like to pray or to ask for help, but not someone that is next to you or not another human being, but something higher, like something that can help you in a different way, like kind of spiritual way. So yeah, just by the fact that you are looking for something like this is like naturally you do believe there's someone out there.
Yeah.
So that's like fact number one. And even those who call themselves atheists, still, like I do believe at some point in time they had that feeling. They go through something like that. Like we can call it prayer or not, but it's something related to that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's like borderline. It's like the middle of being just spiritual or being religious. Like I'm
Yes.
like so yeah, so like even like saying like even I don't claim myself to be like a spiritual person. But again, like I do believe in spiritual power and energy and stuff like that. So it's like I'm just right in the middle. Just like my ideology. I'm very much in the middle. I try to see both sides of things, get an understanding of both sides of things. So, like, I totally understand why people are religious. I totally get it. Faith, that stuff definitely carries you through hard times. So, I'm not going to, deny that. It's just a personal, yeah, it's just like a personal belief, right?
Yeah.
Like, even like when me and my wife had our honeymoon in New Zealand. and we were doing one of these group tours, learning about the culture and everything. And someone asked, like, if they, because we were sitting in like in a temple. I forget, I forget what they call it there, but it was basically like a temple, a small temple, and someone asked, if Maori are religious, and the woman says, like, we're not necessarily. I mean, I think some are, right, as like anyone, any region would be, but but she was like, yeah, we're just more spiritual about their way of life. So again, like that's kind of like how I am. It's like I'm not religious, but I do believe in a higher spiritual power. So it looks like we agree on that then, huh?
See, it's tough.
Well, let's. I mean, not that I don't want to like think too far ahead, but hey, you know what? It's good. It's a great take. Certainly something to value. I value that, but it will be interesting when there will be a time, there will be something where we both have a disagreement on.
It will be interesting for sure.
I mean, I think just the way we get through our day to day is different, right? Like I have a strong belief in like working out every day and this and that. I know we just have different routines. Really, that's about it.
I think we all do, man. I think it's like everything. Everything is.
I'm just trying to find shit we can like disagree on.
I wouldn't really say disagree, but maybe don't share the same point like 100%. Yeah.
Well, yeah, we have. Is it what would the word be? Disposition? Maybe we just have a disposition on some things. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, as you know, I'm bad at words, so I'm really asking
you. Dude, you're not the only one. So don't even put that on my. Don't start that. Don't start that. I mean, the problem is not really. I think it's the same thing you go through. The problem is not that you don't know words. You do know words, but when you need them, they're not there. You see? Yeah, I think that's the problem. And then, like 2 hours after, I should have said that. Oh, that's the word I was looking for. That's the better argument I could have used. And it's like, it's past already. So
the worst is going over the recordings and then realizing that was not the word.
Yes, I could do so much better than that. Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's why even when I'm like audio messaging someone, I don't even hear my message. I just because I know if I hear it, I'm like
That's funny because I actually do play back my messages.
Why though?
I only do it just to see if I'm yelling into the microphone because I'm loud. It doesn't take a lot for me to really project. So yeah, I just usually do a playback to see like how loud I am on the in the audio message.
Okay. Well, depending on which platform you're using, if it's WhatsApp, for example, I think not Instagram, Messenger as well. While you're recording, it kind of shows you the levels of your, so you have like an idea. Okay, I'm yelling. Okay, I should like tone it down a little bit. So
yeah, true.
At least you have a frame.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you another tough question, and this one's definitely, dare I say, political. Okay. This is a question. I saw a video on YouTube, and it really brings up a great discussion. But today in 2023, and as we are soon going to be into 2024, is it okay, Gerson? Is it okay to be white?
Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't it? I mean, that's the question. Like, why?
I know.
But okay, you need to give me context on that one. What does it mean being white?
Well, just white privilege, slavery, like all this shit, right? All the the white man, like that kind of shit. And in the video, it's just funny because in the video, there's this guy walking around walking around the city or like college campuses or wherever,
Mhm.
asking people of African descent,
Mhm.
asking them, yeah, is it okay to be white? And you'd be
Mhm.
surprised how many people actually say no.
Well, that's interesting. I don't know the social context in USA. I believe this is recorded in USA.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
really know. It is?
yeah,
Oh, it
it
was?
is.
Okay, cool. But still, I think this kind of question, it always boils down to the system, like Matrix. But
Well,
I'm not talking about like Matrix, but like it's the rabbit hole is like way deeper than it is.
well, what it always
So
comes down to is like the whole, black
yeah,
slave. So they always,
yeah.
and it's just like I had this conversation with somebody else too. I was like, like slavery's everywhere. So, like I'm like trying to be careful how I word this, but it's just like, like yeah, it was fucking terrible, but like you can't expect, like the white population here to, conform to reparations
Mm,
because of what happened in the past, right? Like that's been an argument here is whether,
mm.
you know,
Okay.
the black population, people, of I don't want to just say black people because I know I might get hate, but like they some of them, a good portion of the population like believe in having reparation, and it's like, well, like realistically, like it's not this generation's fault, right? For the
Mm,
past, from because of what happened in the past, and there is slavery in Africa. There's slavery in what Korea, China, like so many continents, countries have dealt with slavery with their own people. So it's just like to always when it comes to slavery, it's not always just black slaves, white masters. There have been slavery in other countries that that aren't
mm,
spoken about as much, right? It's not as common knowledge as what's happened here. I mean, rightfully so. We're talking about Western society, but
mm,
again, it was like shocking for me to see like some people just very outright like, yeah, or no, it's not okay to be white today. Today it's just
mm.
like fuck, and it just shows you like, yeah, hey, racism's still here, man.
It
It's here.
is. Nowadays more than ever. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It's here to stay,
and
and
I'm talking about like both sides.
right, yeah,
Like
exactly.
I mean every side now. And with this wokeism thing, everything is just like a problem. But I would say that regarding that topic, I think it all boils down also to the repercussion of the slaverism we're talking about. Like with the black slavery, the problem is like in a global scale. Like I can go to Asia right now, people still gonna look me different. No matter where I go, I'm still like it's like a stain, like a permanent stain I cannot wash off. So I think that's the problem. But I think I do understand they want like to get even, but that's what I'm like. That's what I when I think different. For example, because I'm religious, I don't believe in any like political system, human political system, or like human government that they are going to fix our problems, like social causes like racism, for example. We are going to fix that by ourselves. Nope, I don't believe that. So I'm just here kind of doing my part and waiting for like when God decides, okay, this is you have your fun now. Now it's my time to put things together like we're supposed to. So yeah, it's different. That's why I don't really pursue that agenda of kind of taking revenge or kind of wanting like to get like these reparations because I know it's not gonna happen. Like the damage is just too great. It's just too much. So I don't know. And if you pursue that, eventually you become like what like the punish. You become too radical, and I don't like that at all. I mean, and that goes through and goes to pretty much every single uh social causes these days. Like let's say gay people, let's say like racism, let's say the yeah, everything. And because it's not gonna, I mean, my point is no matter what you do, it's not gonna like change anything. It might scale it down a little bit, but the problem is still there. Like the root is still there. So, and it's not for us to be our heroes. So
Yeah.
kind of like that. So yeah, that's what I think. But I do understand their rage, their will on that, and the way they think. I do understand.
Yeah.
The
Well,
problem is,
there were people that were, kind of like what you said, like, um, they're like, yeah, why is that even a question? Or like, they're just like, yeah, it's okay to be white. Why is that not okay? So again, I guess I'm just shocked how many people were actually like, just like, yeah, or again, no, it's not okay to be white. It's like, what? That's fucked up.
it is. It is
Yeah.
because when you put it like that, it's not okay. So what does that mean? Like, it's not okay. So what should we be doing with white people then if it's not okay? That's the question. Okay, it's not okay. So what?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, so it's
lot
kind
of
of weird.
a lot of internal, deep learning of oneself. I don't know.
Yeah, that's important. That is important because um, going back to colonialism again and like slavery and all that, I think we create borders, everything, and that's what separates us from like focusing on the human being part, like the human itself, like the individual. When you put that aside, when you don't even look color, you don't even look. I don't. For example, I don't even like the concept of a country, like a nation. Mm. Because it automatically puts you against other people you don't even know, just because they're not from your country, from your neighborhood, from whatever. Automatically, you have to feel like we're better than them at some point. So,
Interesting.
yeah,
Well,
it is.
here's one little disagreement because I
Oh,
kind
right.
of I'll just say that I like I like the ideas of the existence of different countries because I think
Mm,
it is good and educational to know the roots of certain
mm.
cultures. Whereas, like, fucking, I'm trying to think of an example, like seeing white people with dreadlocks, right? Where there was like we
Mm.
talked about cultural appropriation.
Yes, we
So
did,
like
and we can circle back to that at some point in this
I just
conversation.
think it's good to, not that I'm saying you're culturally appropriating by rocking dreads, for a
Mm.
white person, but it's just like, it's good to be educated and know where that came from, right?
Mm. I agree,
So
definitely.
that's the only thing I'm saying is like I like that there are different countries, different cultures. I also like when other people not from that culture are sort of like represented, or not representing, but like,
Paying homage already, almost.
yeah, like, so yeah, exactly. So
Mm.
like it's,
Like, okay, even though this is not my thing, but I like it, it's dope. So, yeah, I'm still gonna.
exactly, yes,
Okay.
yeah, to put it simply, exactly. um but yeah, that's just like my opinion, like everything is like so influenced and impacted by other, again, like,
Yeah.
with cultures, right?
Mm.
But I think it's good to like know where it's rooted
Head
from.
start. Yeah. I,
um
I agree. I agree on that one.
but yeah, so yeah, my I gotta say, my YouTube is like I have put it in the algorithm of, because
Uh-huh.
I'm stuck like watching these like debates on college campuses about all this
Mm.
shit, and
Mm.
it's mind blowing that like students, like college students today, are just like they're so far from like just reality, like
Mm.
because of their really their the wokeness. or whatever.
Yes.
It's just like, God damn. You said something though before about borders, like we create borders.
Mm,
And that really kind of got me perked up because like I had this conversation um with my one of my recent guests. She's Filipino.
nice.
And like I kind of was in a way I was kind of being like a devil's advocate in that because she's all about much like myself, but not to her extent. But she's like
Mm,
all about reconnecting with our culture and
mm,
just like she's getting into all the history about our people and all this stuff.
mm,
And it's very much a thing here. Like, of course we try to um show inclusivity and all that, right? People want to be
mm,
inclusive and want to be represented, black people, Asians, right? But it's just like at the same time,
mm,
this is my opinion, and I will say this was inspired by Morgan Freeman because he said something along the lines of like,
mm,
if you want to stop racism, you got to stop focusing on it, right? Like I'm paraphrasing. So I was kind of
mm,
like bringing that up with her in regards to our, Asian American, Filipino, Pacific Islanders. I'm like, because she organizes like these Filipino events. So I was kind of like playing a devil's advocate where I was like, you know, you want to be inclusive and all this stuff, but then I'm like, doesn't it kind of, in a way, create a border or some sort of divide when you
mm.
just focus on Filipinos? Because,
That's
like,
the point.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like I could probably come up with a better argument.
No, but I do feel, I feel.
But, like, because, like, I'll just speak, like, on my behalf, right? Yes, I'm Filipino. I very much want to reconnect with my culture. Um, but, like, let's say if I want to be a part of these Filipino events, I very much feel like an outsider because while all of these artisan vendors, all of their
Mm,
products, their artwork, it all reflects on our country, the Philippines. Whereas me coming in, I have like I have one specific piece that I have that people, fortunate people buy, but like I only have one piece that represents my country, my ethnicity. Everything else is all about just what represents me as a person. So I felt there was like that sort of border because I'm like, I don't, even though I'm Filipino, but I don't feel like I fit with everybody else because all they present is the Filipino culture, with their craft, with their artwork and
mm,
products. Where I'm like, I'm Filipino, but I'm just an artist. Like I don't label myself as a Filipino artist. You know,
mm,
I'm an artist who happens to be Filipino, right?
mm.
So that was like the sort of debate I was trying to bring up with my friend here. And but yeah, like I feel like when you just like, I almost felt the same way with like some events where it was like just like only black owned businesses are allowed to apply to whatever, these events. And I'm like, damn it, like, because I'm trying to get exposure, right? I'm trying to
Mm.
connect with the community. But when I see like stuff like that, whether it's black owned, uh, Asian owned, queer owned, like female owned, then I'm like, all right, well, I don't fit. Like I don't. Some of them obviously I don't fit, but like when it comes to like others, I'm like, all right, well, like I just want to be part of the thing because it's an art event, so I just want to show my art.
Mm.
But I either got to be black, Asian, female, or gay if I want to like do certain events. So like
and
that's
that's
yeah.
and that's the problem because the world is diverse. We have like different people, different races, different whatever. That's why if you go back to 90s animation, Normally, the main character is neither like black or neither like white. It's like a monster or something. But the way he feels, the way he acts represents mankind. And that's it. Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, they're not human at all. Like you cannot tell, like, okay, this guy is okay, Raphael's like a black man. How do you like get to that conclusion? But the way they act, like at some point, kind of represents people. That's it, like human. And you don't have to be like black to like it. You don't have to be like white to like it. You just like it because it is. Like the Transformer series, it's the same thing. So that's my point. Because we are more than visual. We are what we say, we are what we do, we are what we the way we act, and that's what should be important, not the way we look or like our background or like our historical background or whatever. Because sometimes you don't identify. I'm not saying identify actually. You don't resonate with that, even though you are naturally inserted in that group, but you don't feel like you belong there for some reason because the way what they do doesn't represent yourself, doesn't represent what you believe, doesn't represent the way you see the world. So okay, I'm here, but do I have to agree with everything they do just because I'm black? So I kind of agree the way you feel. I kind of agree the way you were talking about that events and the reconnecting with the culture, because there are things that okay, I'm black, but I don't agree with this. I don't even like it. So I'm less black because I don't like it. It kind of does. It kind of doesn't make
Black
any.
card, bro.
It doesn't make any sense. But I'm still here. I'm human. I'm breathing. My blood is still red. So I have skeleton. So yeah, that's what I meant with borders. Like we create these kind of socially acceptable concepts. And if you don't fit the pattern, if you don't fit the standard, then you are not from here. You don't belong here. And this is like weird. It doesn't make any sense because that's how the world is. Like if you look through nature, if you look to people, if you look to animals, that's how it is. Singularity. Actually, I do believe in individuality. I believe in that. I mean, that's supposed to be more praise instead of like the collective good. We were talking about this actually the other day. Like you have to. There's this in Portuguese actually we call it moral de rebanho. It's like the black sheep, the black sheep concept. If you don't feed the group, then yeah, you don't belong here. This is messed up.
Exactly, and that's how I
At
felt.
that point, you don't get to be you anymore.
Yeah.
You're just like part of the whole thing. But what about me? What about my aspirations? What about what I believe? Hmm. Do I have to sacrifice everything just to fit in? Hmm. And
Mm.
that's what the world is becoming these days. We have to suppress everything we are to fit in. Otherwise, we're not like good human beings, or we just have to accept everything as everything it was good, but it's not good. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because like not to keep bringing up the discussions with my friend, but like another thing was too, it was like, she wanted to, I don't want to like, I'm not trying to make her look bad either. Like
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
she's a sweet person, a very talented artist. Uh, um, but there was like part of her thing was, surrounding herself with people that understand what it's like to be Filipino. So in that case, hanging out with Filipinos, right? And again, me kind of just reflecting on my upbringing and, like my youth, like that wasn't a thing. Like I never, even to like just, I don't know, feel accepted in the Filipino community or anything. Like I never felt the need to just hang out with Filipino friends. Like, sure, I have Filipino friends, but like my core group of friends are always mixed. It was never, you know, just one race. I have friends that are black, Peruvian, Guatemalan, Filipino, Italian, like the list
You
goes
know,
on.
and
So
now
I
let
just
me ask. Sorry to cut you. You know, let me ask you, why are you friends with them?
why am I friends with them?
Mm,
Just because like the common interests and hobbies, and
that's the point.
yeah, I know. But for my friend's argument was just like to have friends that know what it's like to, I don't want to say struggle as an Asian or just Filipino, but like just
No,
to
sure,
understand those
sure.
cultural differences. But I will say, my friends, just from, hanging out at my house, uh, they very much understood the culture of like what a Filipino family is like. Like they just knew how things kind of were. Obviously not to the extent of like how I knew what it's like to be Filipino, but they were like, yeah, that's a thing, like they understood because they were always around it. So I just thought it was interesting that there was that need of like, I want to be surrounded by people that understand where I come from as a Filipino. So I'm just gonna hang out with Filipinos. And I'm like, oh, that kind of cuts
If
out
you,
like other
yeah,
people.
yes, that's the point.
I mean, don't get me wrong. She's friends with, other races. So like,
Definitely.
I'm just saying that to
I
clarify
mean,
to the audience.
being an artist is kind of impossible not to be friend with like mixed. I mean, with the world, I would put it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because especially if you use social media and you are like very active, eventually, like for example, arts. Sometimes you create this you consider this masterpiece, you put it out, and no one from your cultural background likes it. And there's this guy from like China or from like Sweden, and he posted and like really likes it, and he makes sure he likes it. So what are you gonna do? What do you do to this kind of situation? And eventually, okay, this guy likes what I do. Like, dude, why does he like it? And you become interested in that. And that's normally it's the spark that starts like friendship. Like, why is this person um why does he like my things? Why? And like you mentioned before, that's common interest because maybe what you did, what you represented in your art or whatever, it feels like kind of evokes something in them. It's like when, let's say, you're walking down the street and someone passes by and he's listening to a song and you can hear it is a song that you also like.
Yeah.
Eventually, feel like, oh, I wish I could talk to that person
Yeah.
because now you have something in common, and because of that, you might evoke other situations. It might bring up other things that would definitely make you like interact like normally because you share that one thing. So yeah. And
Yeah.
sometimes you cannot have that only by the fact that this person is from the same culture as I am, or is also black, or is also Asian, whatever. It's not as simple as that. I wish it wasn't like that, but it's not.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and I'll say, you know, as a kid, like finding out my friend's nationality was
The
like the
last
second.
thing, like,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
yeah.
like, if well, yeah, I mean, if not the last thing, it was definitely the second or third thing I would discover. Like I would become friends with somebody because they were simply funny or because they like Transformers or like whatever it was. But then later on, after talking to them, then right, you discover like, oh, you're from Angola. Cool. Like, so I just think it's, like having labels is like such a prominent thing now. Like
Mhm.
having identity and the labels and stuff. It's so like there's this interview that I rewatch quite often, and it's a Bruce Lee interview from 1971.
Mhm.
Um, and at the end of the interview, because it was around the time when he was about to start making films in China, after starting to grow in America. So the interviewer asked him,
You still think of yourself Chinese, or do you ever think of yourself as North American?
You know what I want to think of myself as a human being, because I mean I don't want to sound like as Confucius say, but under the sky, under the heaven, man, there is but one family. It just so happened, man, that people are different.
it's like makes sense, right? We're all the same, humanely, right? But we just happen to be different in other things.
That's why I talk about the religion thing before. If you go to Hindu religion, if you go to like Asian religion overall, or African matrix religion kind of thing, and even in Christianity, you will always find like one point in common.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh wait, why is that? That's the question. Because we are the same thing, but different.
Yeah, because we're human. Like we all love, right? We all love. We also all hate. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's just wild.
Yeah, but
Hey, by the way, real quick, when I'm like moving this mic around, does that make noise on your end or anything?
no. It just creates like a surround or 3D effect. It just creates this like a surround or 3D effect, like your voice is going.
Yeah.
But it's cool though. Yeah.
Well, no, so because all right, because like when I'm rewatching podcasts and making clips, all of my clips, I'm just like hunched down because I'm trying to make sure and usually I have my mic just sitting on my table, so I'm always like this. So I'm like, all right, what if I just like actually sit up and sit back and just bring the mic to me, if that's gonna make it worse or better? But we're good.
It's not. We're good. We're good. Plus,
Okay.
yo, that's a mic. It has like a range of like.
Well,
maybe
this one, I mean,
uh,
if I'm gonna sit up and talk from here, it's not that great. Like I don't hear
it's
myself
cool.
as well in here.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, so because if I put up the gain up on my microphone so that it can catch me from afar.
You also catch other sounds, right?
Yeah, and like this building, the apartment there's so much structural noise. That's why I don't do that's why I don't have even my local friends. Like I don't have them in the apartment to do the podcast, because then I got to rely on my iPad for the most part to capture the audio, and that iPad's gonna capture like the
Everything.
audio. Yeah, it's bad. Like the quality is just not good. So that's why I haven't had live guests on, but soon it's gonna happen.
Okay.
Here, because we got a big move coming, and I'm gonna have an actual podcast studio separate from my art studio.
Nice.
Excited. Yeah, man, there's gonna be a lot of upgrades, I'll say.
Okay. I'll stay tuned as always. And
Yeah.
what about decoration? Are you going to put like a round table or something, like articulate microphones on?
So I don't know yet. So ideally I want to have like if you've seen like other podcasts, they always have that nice microphone arm, so like the microphones are always like on an arm, just like right here. Like I want it. So I mean, it's not gonna be for a while when I actually have live guests, because I'm gonna need to invest on another mic, 2 mic stands. I'm gonna need a mixer to hook up to my computer. Yeah, just so there's like, there's gonna be equipment I'm gonna have to start investing on. So it's not gonna be for a while, but still I'm excited about what's gonna the opportunities the new house is gonna offer. Because goddamn.
It's been what, like 3 years now since you started podcasting.
Yeah. It's been 3 years, a little over now, a little over 3 years. And
3 year plus.
and in the very beginning, I had live guests. Like surprisingly, well, I mean, I was recording with my MacBook, but surprisingly, it it still captured everybody. But yeah, like to be able to podcast with live guests in a relaxing state, just being able to sit back and not have to sit up into the mic, that's just gonna be it's gonna be such a game changer in the experience. So that's why I'm just like really excited about it.
Now that you mentioned about like leaning over all the time, I'm wondering, how is your spine though? Is it okay?
I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's never been 100% ever since I pinched my I have sciatica. So ever since I pinched my nerve, like, it's why I need to exercise every day.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
That's great.
it's really just staying limber, and that's really what it is. Like, I like anytime when you see me post about staying active, right?
Okay.
Like, I always feel I need to clarify, especially for, like beginners or like not novel people that are trying to get in shape. Like, I always try to clarify, like, I'm not saying you got to be a triathlete or bodybuilder. I'm just trying to promote the importance and the benefits of just being physically
Healthy?
fit, just physically fit in the sense that you are able, you have mobility, you have mobility strength, functional strength. So
Okay.
I just always try to like remind people to, like, hey, especially like, artists, we fucking sit down for hours working on art hunched over, so it's just like, it's so important to, set an alarm or a reminder every,
Okay.
I don't know, every hour, a couple hours, to like just get out of your seat and stretch.
Yeah,
So,
that makes sense.
well, you know me, I'm passionate about it because I used to be fat. So,
Really?
yeah. Well, yeah, you've seen pictures. You saw those pics like way back, right? When I was fat. Long hair.
Oh, yeah. Now that you with the Wolverine beard thing, okay, got it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, I want to go back to society. This
Go
has
back.
been
Just get into the DeLorean and go back. Go back.
so lately, this whole victim mentality has been uh what's the word? I don't know. I'm just over the display of victim mentality. I also believe I don't think I've heard anyone say this phrase, but you have toxic masculinity, right?
Mm,
I believe we have toxic enabling, right?
mm.
People that enable others to fucking be obese because it makes you
Oh,
happy.
okay, got it.
Yeah, just
Got
people
it.
like catering to others' feelings, right?
Mm.
Because that essentially leads to just being an enabler, right? It's like, oh, yeah, go ahead. If it makes you happy to eat McDonald's every hour of the day, go ahead. If that's what makes you happy, be fat. Go ahead. It's all good. What is it? Fat positivity. Like,
And
what?
this is interesting because one thing I realized is that normally, not everything, but like I would say 80% of the things that make us feeling good, it's not good for us at
Oh
all.
yeah, exactly.
It's not. So once you like acknowledge that, you start like actually acting right with yourself, because it's not about making you feel good. It's about like the bigger picture. It's about the long run, because life, it's not a sprint race, it's a marathon. So yes. So if you're always like acting upon, okay, I feel this way, so I'm gonna do it because I feel this way, then you're not free. You are a slave of your feelings and your emotions. You're not in control. So yeah, you need to always like step down, stop, wonder, and think about the repercussion, about the consequences, whatever. Because yeah, just imagine if we could do everything we wanted since we were kids.
Yeah.
Just imagine if we were operating on that thought, like, okay, I feel this way, so I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna be it. Just imagine.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be really smart. You just have to kind of like keep yourself down to earth. Like this is not reality.
Well, yeah,
This
you gotta be realistic, right? And
all the
also
time.
accountability. There's like
Yes. Yes.
there's no
Yeah.
accountability. I mean,
Uh-huh.
you can apply that to the fat movement, the feminist movement, the queer, the queer movement, the LGBTQ. Like there's a lot of lack of accountability when they're
A
pushing
lot, a lot.
ideologies, right? So but I'm gonna get fucked for saying that, right? Like I'm gonna sound fat phobic. I'm gonna
No,
sound
but it's not. It's not. That's not the point.
right.
For instance, what do you think about OnlyFans? The OnlyFans movement.
Well, it definitely has a bad rap, right? Because sex workers. But I will say though, there are other content creators or other even like just like public figures that do use OnlyFans
Yeah, yeah.
so
No, but
that
I mean the sex workers.
okay, so you're just talking about sex workers. Oh yeah,
Yes,
they're
just
fucked.
them, just them.
They're fucked because like well,
Because
literally and figuratively, right? No, but like in reality though, yeah,
just me a while.
they're fucked because like
Okay.
they have this like delusion, like like
Unity, literally.
just like especially like sex workers that struggle with having sustainable relationships. Well, I wonder why, I mean, especially if like for
Yep.
women, because I'm just gonna make an assumption that majority of women are, a great population of those sex workers are women, right? I'm assuming. Um, but yeah, like they have like this distorted view on what makes a healthy relationship, or rather like a they just like the values are all fucked up, their standards, like they have like these requirements that are unrealistic, and it's just yeah, it's not a good sign. And
Yeah.
yeah, you know what? Sure, it can make you fucking thousands of dollars, but
But
you're selling your fucking soul, man, because deep. I'll say so many, OnlyFans people,
debate.
they're suffering inside. Once they start speaking
Yeah.
out how fucking lonely and miserable they are, they fucking break down, and it's just like, well, hey, you got fucking money, right? You got a Mercedes or whatever, so it's got to be great. But no,
Yeah.
because like in your head, it's like so.
And
That's what.
not only that, if it was just that, okay, cool. But my real point, I mean, my real problem with that is that these are people that also like, okay, they want to do that, but they want to have a normal life as well. Well, that's not how it works.
Yeah,
Like, let's say they would have kids, and I imagine
exactly.
what their
Yeah,
kids are
that
going to
too.
go through because my mom do what he does. Like,
Yeah.
if
No,
you want to do
that's
that, then don't
exactly a
have
valid
kids. Like,
point.
and don't try to uh, have a healthy or normal relationship because of what you do. It makes it hard to your partner to abide to your laws. So
Yeah, especially if you have kids, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
especially with the kids.
it sucks, right?
That's my main problem. Like
Yeah, if you have kids, but you're making so much money on OnlyFans, and sure, that may allow you to provide for your family. But man, like
what kind of life you're providing? Like
exactly, yeah, because like yeah, sure, you can pay all the bills, you can get all these nice luxurious things, but hey man, what are the chances that your kid's getting picked on because their friends are able to fucking
yeah,
watch you naked
it,
and shit,
it's
right?
everything on the internet. You cannot delete it. So
Yeah, exactly. You're like, man, can you imagine? Can you imagine like hanging out with friends or
that's messed up. Just to think
hanging
of
out
it.
with friends or not even friends, right? Let's say acquaintances or someone that you don't like, but God forbid they come up to you and be like, "Hey, man, your mom's fucking hot. I fucking beat off to her every night." It's like, yo, the mental trauma that must cause for
There's
any.
nothing you could do. You're just lost. There's like tack and paw punch.
Well, you know what happens, right? Or I'm not gonna say what actually happens, but I'm saying you know what could happen from that, right? Especially here in America, on the
Yeah,
way to that school bell rings.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, right. Like,
And you guys are selling guns on the Walmart, like so.
yeah. Oh man, this
So
episode
yeah.
is not gonna be monetized.
Well, the show is called Rated G, so they should know by now.
How well?
They should. I mean,
The people that are familiar with me will understand, but for any newcomer, is this
yeah.
gonna be a family friendly podcast?
No, it's not.
Afraid not, folks. If you are new here, now
That's
you
a plus. That's a plus 18 episode. So, yeah.
shit. I don't know. It might have to be like, I don't know, not even
Yeah.
plus 18.
And circling back to that, this scenario we created regarding the sex workers that works on OnlyFans and with the kid situation, with being picked on, and with guns being sold on Walmart, and this is like the perfect like situation to breed like serial killers, like to breed like mass shooting, like. So you see, it has like a domino effect. One simple thing leads to like these big events, and it's messed up. Maybe they're not even considering that. They don't, I
Right.
think. So yeah,
Oh,
because
no,
if I was
man.
that kid, I don't know what I would do. Like being picked on every day. I don't know how much longer I would like take that. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not gonna say I would go out and buy a gun to.
But that's the point. You don't know,
But
dude.
I'll say this, right? The old school me, if that shit was, I would just beat the fuck out of that kid. You know what I mean?
That-
like I would just,
which is equally bad.
What? I wouldn't say equally, but there definitely are harsh circumstances, right?
Yeah. Because that's the kind of beating that it's not just like to beat, it's like to break the bones and think like to really like mess you up. So
yeah,
so you never know.
I don't know if this is any. There might be a correlation to like what we're talking about overall, but I was thinking about this the other
We just digress, right? Yeah, we do that all the time.
Well, no, I was thinking. I don't know if this was like. I mean, maybe you might be familiar with the saying. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words could never hurt me. Are you familiar with that?
I am.
Boy, is that different now, huh?
Yes, I agree.
I think the updated version of that should be sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will definitely hurt my feelings.
Yeah, cut deeper. Definitely.
Yeah. Words cut deeper.
Because you can break your bones and you can get fixed it by a doctor or something, but words, you're gonna remember that forever.
Yeah.
Like you're always gonna remember that because that those words will be always associated with the situation, always.
Yeah, but what I'm kind of steering towards is that, like back then, I mean, sure, like there is a correlation with mental health, but fucking people back in the day, they had thick skin.
Yeah.
Now they just got thick bodies.
Oh shit! This is getting demonetized on YouTube for sure. Yeah.
This might be the last episode of Rated G, actually.
What about Spotify?
You made the finale.
No. What about Spotify? Do they have also this community like things you have to follow? Otherwise, they won't post your episode or something?
Oh, the guidelines? We'll see. Play it by ear. Speaking of guidelines, though, I'm still in Facebook jail.
Oh man!
Because
for how long? For how long is the probation time?
Well, when I looked it up, it was like about 30 days, and it's certainly been about 30 days. So I I don't know. Like there was no statement whether this suspension was permanent
Hmm.
or not, because like if it was permanent, that's not a suspension. That's just like you're kicked off.
And that's it. Yes.
But
You can cry all you want. You're not coming back. And normally, when you kick you up, when you ban, when they ban you, actually, normally they show what you did. Do you know
so
what was the
yeah,
cause of this?
it's a little complicated because
Hmm. Here we go.
because when I tried to go through the review, they give you two options.
Hmm.
One, well, the first option is to find out what it was that I did that was offensive. And the
Hmm.
second option was to just claim that it was like I don't, just say like I don't think I
Take responsibility.
what's that?
Take responsibility.
Well, it's just like you either say that you don't know what you did or you don't think you did anything. So like I was trying to sort of, I don't not say fight, but I was trying to just kind of refute. Is that the word? So I was trying to just, be like, I didn't do anything wrong. So anyway,
Hmm.
with that, when I chose that option, then it was like, all right, your review, your thing is up for review. It takes up to 48 hours
Hmm.
for whatever to come for results or response. But like the next day, I was already like disabled. Like I was suspended.
Oh,
So
okay.
it didn't even
Hmm.
take 48 hours for the suspension to be, to be activated. But when I looked it up, yeah, it should only take about here, you know what? I got my Facebook app up. All right. This is all right, so like this isn't gonna be in any way amusing for the listeners, but for anyone on YouTube. So here we go. So this is my personal Facebook. I'm gonna go ahead and
Log in.
log
Try to log
in.
in.
All right, here we go. All right,
What?
let's see.
It's loading. So does it say?
Well, what a surprise. We suspended your account. Your account was suspended because you're linked. So this is the weird. So this is the thing. I was talking about this on another episode with my buddy Nick. I think I got hacked ultimately because it keeps saying that my linked Instagram account, and it's got this weird username, which is like it looks like a scammer or whatever.
Hmm.
Doesn't follow our rules. So log into your linked Instagram account to appeal our decision. Now I tried that. I went on my Instagram account, went through all the things in my settings to be like, just to see like, all right, where I can search this weird fake username. It never pops up. I really
Hmm.
have no way. Like I went into everything I could. I never, yeah, I just there were no signs of fuckery on there.
Hmm.
So, and it's weird because like you can actually go in your settings and see if anything you've posted uh
Hmm.
was going against the guidelines. And when I
Hmm.
would do that, it would say you haven't, and
So why am I being banned?
yeah, it's so I don't know. And that's the thing too, like because right when it said, your linked Instagram account wasn't following the guidelines, I'm like, okay, so I mean, it's definitely not Art of G Terado that's being offensive because I just share, I just
Art.
share my art, I share the content from the podcast that's not too offensive. Um, so I'm like, all right, maybe it's my personal, account, maybe it's the G Terado account
But
because
your account is
sometimes
still, but it's still on.
well, that's the thing. So I went on that account. I went in my settings, checked to see if any of my posts on there have went against the guidelines. Nope.
And zero.
Everything was good. Everything was green. And like that's the thing too. Like it says in there that even if I did post something offensive, um, sometimes they would actually just take it down without even warning. So I never got a warning of stuff. I mean, if there was a warning I got, it was like because I was I mean, I always had a chance to like opt out too. So like I would get a warning, be like, all right, your comment is, it may come off offensive or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I just won't leave that comment, or I won't type that caption for my post. That's like the only thing I've ever really come across. I've never got any warnings of suspension on my Instagram for my content. So it's like
It's
very
weird.
fishy. Yeah, it's very fishy. So I think I got hacked. I changed my password on Instagram. So I mean, at this point, I don't even know what to do, right? Because everything's fucking electronic, everything's robotic. So like, if I probably can't even talk to a person that can like go into it, and that's the frustrating thing. Is like I wish I could call,
No, you're good.
yeah, just call whoever of Meta and be like, dude, what the fuck is going on? Why am I still suspended? No,
Yeah.
I just keep getting these links to take me to places that doesn't even help. So
And that's like my main concern with AI, because
yeah,
AI can't understand sarcasm, can't understand irony. So why are you putting a robot to manage this situation? It's stupid. Like,
like
it makes no sense.
I I can see why, but I also like I
Yeah,
get it in a sense of like efficiency, right?
yeah, but
Because
still.
depending on the thing that AI is applied to, I can see how it can eliminate the sort of like unnecessary steps. I also do believe sometimes, yeah, like if we if decisions or actions need to be made without any emotion, right? You just need to make these
Yeah.
executive moves.
Mm.
Yeah, sure. AI can be applied to that, but that can also have its downfall because like because you're not in a like let's say you got like an AI fucking robot police thing, and like they're not gonna be able to console with you. They're just gonna go through their data and be like, and just not try to reason, right? There's no reasoning with
Yeah,
AI. It's
yeah,
straight. So
and that's it.
yeah, so that
And-
it's yeah, so that's why
yeah,
you,
and
you
there's this Billboard stand-up session. I think you have watched it already. He was talking about women being too victimized these days.
mm,
Like, so he was talking about sexual harassment. Actually, he said that sometimes they kind of cooperate. Like, let's say a woman is being harassed, and instead of she saying no, she said, "No,
uh,
stop it." I mean, that's not a no. But when the police is reading the whole thing during court, the she said, "No, stop it. It's different. That's not how it
oh
happened."
yeah. Are you talking
Yeah,
about
so
Bill Burr?
yeah,
Was that the
Billboard. Yeah, that's Billboard. It's
yeah,
kind of it's
so I
kind of the
remember
same
that.
thing.
He'd be
Yeah, it's
like,
kind of the same thing.
no, stop it. Right? The context, the tonality of it, you
Yes.
see it on paper. And
And this is it's different. This is like text messaging and actually calling the person.
oh yeah. I mean, yeah, we've had this discussion so many
Yes.
times. That's why I'm like so shocked that I can, yeah, like like there have been times where you and I would converse, whether it's FaceTime or through voice messages, but I mean, we can hold like a conversation for
Yeah.
at least an hour, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm over here like,
I think we do.
why the fuck can I not be able to do that with my peers here? Some of the people I have their phone number but it's so fucking hard to get a text message back. And look, I get
Yeah.
it. And we all have lives. We have jobs. We got like you have a job, but fucking we were
I was working 12 hours a day back then. Literally straight
I
up.
know.
No breaks. So I don't know.
But
I
like,
mean, yeah, but at some extent I kinda understand them. But it has always have to do with interest. When you put interest, when you really want to do it, you do it. That's it. But I'm not saying they don't want to do it, but it's also about priorities. They have priorities. And
yes.
let's say, well, if you're like a family man, you have to provide, you have to be responsible all the time, you have to take care of the kids. At some point in time, you have to choose, like, I'm gonna choose my kids or I'm gonna choose G.
No, 100%.
It doesn't necessarily make them bad. This is like the
No.
trolley problem. Are you familiar with the trolley problem?
No, that's a negative.
So the trolley problem is about decisions, pretty much. So let's say I'm sick. Let's just put it that way. Let's say I'm sick and I need money for treatment, but your son is also sick. You can only choose to help one person. Who would you choose?
Your son.
Not really. So I cannot be offended. Oh, gee, didn't pick me. He chose his child, so he's a bad man. No, dude. So it's kind of like that. So at some point,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
look, right?
there's no escape.
I do agree with you on that. It's just, I'm just saying with like the people that I try to socialize with, they just make it difficult. And I'm just like, why did we even bother exchanging numbers? I exchanged numbers with a friend this summer. And it's been like probably 3 months now since I've seen them since. And it's just like, come on. I mean, look, Ray, I'm just like, again, like I get it.
What about calls? Do you guys call each other?
So that's why I'm like, even like a simple text message, right? If I just say, hey, and sure, if you don't say hi back all day, maybe for a couple of days because of work or life, right? Let's just say life. Okay, I get it. But after a goddamn month,
Yeah. Yeah.
again,
Well,
I digress. I'm just saying it does come down to, I'll say this, right? It does come down to the person's intention and perhaps, how do I phrase it? Like how much of a value I am to them, right? It's just like, so I that's why I always show my appreciation with you, because it's like the way we communicate, how frequently we communicate, it shows me how much of a value I am to you, being that you're across the world. But there's enough value in our friendship where it's like, yeah, we'll have like this pocket of time to catch up and talk and share stuff, and you know what I mean? And I find it ironic that I'm able to do that with friends that are across the world. Because like for another example, I had a guest recently who is in Sweden, and we have the time differences as well. I think she's 6 hours ahead.
oh,
We had like a 3-hour FaceTime.
Sweet.
And it's just like, so again, there's a more possibility that I can hold an hour conversation with someone across the seas, and I can't even get like a few minutes from some people. I'll say some people, because there are a couple people here that have been great. I'm not saying this is. I feel like I'm in that victim mentality right now. I gotta get out of it real quick. But I'm just saying, I just find it ironic. I'm gonna stop crying about it, but I just think, it's just funny how that is right now. Anyway,
and it's it's okay, and it's not about the amount of time you spend. Um, it's simple gestures, just like if you read the message, okay, you have to reply. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to reply in that specific moment, but don't wait like 2 weeks. Come on, don't wait
Well,
like
yeah,
3 days.
it just shows like it's like my one friend Sarah says. It's like it's just this it's just respectful. It's respectful to reply eventually.
Yes,
Like
yes.
I mean, I hate to like sound like a little bitch right now.
A
But
crybaby.
like I just just some people are really shitty at communicating when ironically they're very active on social media. I mean,
And that's the problem.
that's why I
Sweet
get so
hypocrisy.
heated up
Okay, got
about
it.
it.
Okay, got it. Okay, I got it now. Okay,
That's
it
why I
makes
get
sense.
so heated up about it. I follow
Yeah.
people that are, that have a presence online, but when I just, it's so hard to, get a text message or a DM back because
Mm.
sometimes I'm strategic when I reach out to people. If I see that green light on Instagram and it says active
Okay.
now, and I send a message, it says seen an hour ago. Okay, they saw it an hour ago. You know, days later, nothing. I'm like, all right, I don't mean shit to you, I guess. Like that's the thoughts that
Yeah.
go through my head. So again, I'm gonna digress from the victim mentality because I am not for it. But anyway, sorry, I'm sorry, man, because you always hear this coming from me. So.
Yeah, I know. No, I used to be very picky with that too, like a lot, because I really invest in like friendship and in like giving it back. Like if the energy is good, I'm gonna give back the same energy. But if when I'm the only one like giving the energy and you like just there, like come on, man, don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't. I'm always going to send message. I'm always going to call, but I'm not expecting you to do the same thing, the same exact thing, like 100%. But dude, at least 20% or 10 or 5,
yeah,
something.
right. Give me
It's like, and
5%.
it's mad annoying. Like even if it's 1%, okay, dude, do something. That's the point. But some people just don't. Like I
I
don't know.
know. Well, that's why, between you and me, like every time when you do reply late and you're like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I left you hanging or whatever." Honestly, like you have the exception. I don't care. And not in the sense like I don't care if he says
Yeah, I
anything.
know, I
Like
know, I know.
it's not a concern for me because I fucking know. I know you're 5 hours ahead of me, so you're most likely busy at work or just busy trying to settle in with your life. So I'm like, I have confidence that you will get back to me when you do have that chance. And it's just again, it happens sooner than other people. So, so, so
He was doing the eyebrow thing again.
so that's why like I'm gonna tell you right now, right? Because it's sure enough, it's gonna happen again in the DMs and stuff. But like you never have to. Don't feel obligated to apologize when you reply if you reply late, because I know I'm aware of the situation. Like I know what I
Okay,
know.
cool.
I have a general idea that you're a working man, dude. So I get it, and just the fact that still we still communicate regardless. So it yeah, that's why I don't complain about you. You actually get back to me.
Nice, nice. So this is like this is I have like a pass. Okay, cool.
Yeah, of
Glad to
course.
know I have a nice.
Yeah, you definitely have a pass. And like, hey, and you're in that 5.0 club, bro.
Nice, nice, thanks. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I gotta
That's awesome.
you saw the sketch, right? That I started. I gotta
Yes, I didn't even have time to talk about it. So
no,
what
that's
was
fine.
it? Is
No,
it
because
digital?
well, yeah, so because we'll remember a while
Mm-hmm.
ago when we talked and I was like, yeah, I wanna like the thing I wanna do for for at least like for the podcast, for my guests, when they reach that 5.0 level, I want to reward them, with a nice sketch. Now, in your case, I'm doing it on the iPad, so I can send it to you because I can't send you
Oh,
an original sketch. So
nice.
the next best thing I can do in a in jest is to at least do a digital sketch for you and send it your way. But yeah, I wanna reward. Is it reward or award guests who have made their fifth solo appearance with a nice sketch.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
yeah, so there's a couple other people I know I need to make up for, which I will eventually. But yeah, that's gonna be the thing moving forward for Rated G. So if any familiars tuning in, if you've been on before, you've been on a couple occasions, just know if you make that fifth appearance, you will get a sketch.
This is like a newer, like the same thing government, USA government were doing with you guys during COVID, during pandemics. Okay, if you get the vaccine, you're getting these cookies. Oh, you were complaining about them, and you're doing the same thing. Come on.
Hey, but this one's better. There's no risk here. No, actually, since you brought that up, Jerson, if you're gonna make a fifth appearance and you're vaccinated, you got 20 jabs, um, you know, then you get a free sketch from yours truly.
Yeah, but that's interesting though. Interesting.
Yeah, it's just it's been a while since I sketched like right on the iPad, so it, I'm gonna be working on it persistently, and you
But
will
hey,
you'll
no
get it.
pressure. Take your time.
Thank you. Because
Yeah.
also, this is gonna make me sound old, but now I got arthritis on my drawing hand, so I just ordered on
Is that
Amazon.
is that okay? Okay.
Well,
Keep on.
say that again.
No, you were saying something. I kind of interrupt. You can keep on.
Oh, I was just saying that I ordered from Amazon those like thick egg grip things for your
Really?
utensils. Yeah, so I'm gonna get those nice rubber grips. So
Okay.
yeah, because you know what it is, dude. Like and I've been vocal about this numerous times, but like what for some reason, especially well, I mean even on paper too, but like I have the tendency to like grip really hard and just add a lot of
Mm,
pressure. So I
mm,
just think over the years of doing that, I think it just fucked up like my knuckle.
mm,
So it's like always, yeah, it's just like inflamed. It's,
mm.
um, yeah. So now I'm like doing all this rehab on my hand. So like I can still use it to work. I'm like, fuck, man. I hope like I could still do what I do. I'm like trying to,
You will. You will. Don't worry. You will.
yeah. Well, like, and it's funny because like, I was like really going down this rabbit hole of like alternatives to being able to create art. So I'm like, all right, like if I can't draw with my left hand, I'm gonna try to train my right hand.
You should have done that already.
Yes, I should have,
Mm,
but
mm.
now I have carpal tunnel in my right hand.
Oh man, come on. Let's just
Something
replace it
should
with
go wrong.
bionics then. Just cut the both arms and put it with like bionic arms. Or you
Yo,
can
I
draw with your thoughts or something like that. Yeah.
I joke about that with my wife. I tell her I'm like I'm gonna get prosthetic hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I
And
don't
then in
know.
those prosthetic hands, I'm gonna have Wolverine claws installed in them. Retractable claws.
Yes, and ultimately the claws can also become the pencil, like mechanical pencil.
Yo. Oh shit. Yeah, dude, right? I could have like I can yo, right? So
Yes.
I could have a pencil come out of one,
Mm. Mm.
an ink pen, and a
Uh,
calligraphy pen. Yo.
because that's what artists do. Like when they like whenever they put out like this masterpiece, they do the same thing, and they
Oh
put the
yeah.
pencil up. So yeah, I certainly do it. So yeah,
All right. Well,
I would have it.
all right. So I'm gonna put this out there for the audience, right? If you help me out, commission me for some artwork. If you're here in Richmond, Virginia, locally, buy my art so that way I can invest on prosthetic hands with art utensils installed in them. And that is all.
This is this is the new crowdfunding way.
Yeah. I'm gonna start a GoFundMe, right?
Yeah, that's like for a good reason, for a good cause.
Yeah. I just want to keep drawing. No.
Yeah,
No,
gotta keep the artist thing alive a little bit
yeah.
longer.
Uh so actually I have a silly question.
Hmm.
Uh do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
That's interesting. Yes, no, I don't. I don't know. I don't. To be sure, I don't know. I need
Okay.
to do a research. But
Well, I mean it well
what
maybe
is it?
maybe it's just a national holiday here.
And what?
It does deal with the pilgrims and the indigenous people. So maybe it's just an American thing.
I'm gonna give you a better one. Who were the pilgrims?
Well, like
Pilgrims?
just like the Europe, I guess like the Europeans that came over here, colonials.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like it's a dark history.
Yeah.
But yeah, but in the spirit, in the positive spirit of Thanksgiving, it's a holiday where family, friends of family, they get together, they have a big feast, the roasted turkey and stuff. We get together just to, again, just it's a moment of thankfulness.
Mhm.
I mean, so the history of that is because when the pilgrims came over here, met with the indigenous people
Mhm.
in order to create, I guess, peace and
Mhm.
coexistence. All right, let me first preface with this. I'm no fucking history buff, so this
That's
common,
that's your best. You're doing
yeah,
your
this
best. Just keep going.
what should be common knowledge
Mm.
has far been gone because of all the drugs I've done and all the head trauma I've gone through. So bear with me. I'm gonna botch this history lesson. But yeah, so Thanksgiving it started with the pilgrims and the native people of America to come together. They had this feast,
Mm.
Thanksgiving, where yeah, so but there was also a dark of that history as well. I'm not going to get into it, but anyway, so that's what Thanksgiving was. It's just people coming together for a big feast and just share their moments of gratitude and
Mm.
sharing what they're thankful for. So what I'm getting at is, because this is going to be out most likely before
I,
Thanksgiving.
al- I already know where this is going to, but just keep on.
So in
I
the
have a,
spirit of Thanksgiving,
Mm.
what do you hate? No, I'm kidding. No, no, but
I just learned about the event. You're asking me what do I hate?
no, not what would you say you're thankful for? You can generalize or you can be specific.
Hmm. Hmm. Dude, this is by the way, this is why I like this. This is not an actual interview. I don't like the word interview because you really have to you have to give this complex response and blah blah blah. Dude, I'm not good at that. So I don't know. I think the most important thing, I will be grateful to be alive. You know,
Okay.
because a lot of bumps in the road, a lot of things happen, but still, I mean, I'm still here. I'm still standing. So I mean, this is something to be proud and thankful about, I think. So yeah.
No, hey man, and that's great, right? I mean, a lot of people could be like, "Oh, that that's so that's
Lame.
generalizing. It's
Yeah.
cliche. Like,
And now, but yo, when you have like the struggle to just to get off the bed every day, you'll like
yeah,
value every single moment.
yeah, oh
Easy
yeah,
for you,
especially
yeah.
if
Yeah,
you're
when
struggling, if you're
you
struggling
know,
with like depression, like legit depression, yeah, man. I mean, to just to have what you have, to be able to get out of bed and continue your life. Um, I mean, it's just it's important to find those moments of gratitude, right? It's
yeah,
important, and if
like small victory, like
and if just being alive for another day,
hmm,
that's what it is. Fucking amen, bro. Hell yeah.
yeah,
Um, yeah. I mean, that's a good answer, because like, who knows? Like even like culturally, right? Like I don't know what it's like over there, but maybe times are harder over there than they are here. Like, I mean, shit, I can see why people think, I can see why parts of the world can think that we're so privileged, right?
hmm, yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean, I say the same thing too. I'm thankful to be alive still, despite these physical ailments that I just shared with you. Despite the carpal tunnel,
yes.
despite the,
I was about to
but
say that. I was about to say that the
but
duality.
I'm with you on that.
Because,
I'm certainly thankful to for just everything I have right now, despite of whatever negatives I could pull out. But yeah, I'm thankful for the health that I do have. I'm thankful that I can pursue my my art business. I'm thankful to be still married to my wife. I'm I'm thankful to have a roof over my head.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, no, that's a solid answer, man. It's good that you're thankful to be alive. It's good that you're grounded. You're still humble.
yeah.
Oh,
We
fucking
have
leave.
to. We have to. When the problem with thinking too big is that eventually your head just get inflated and you fly away from reality. That's the problem. So when you
Yeah.
stay grounded, when you create limits, okay, I cannot cross this line, can I do this? I cannot, this is not acceptable, but why keeps you like, humane, I think,
Yeah.
you know.
And because we will be wrapping this up soon. So I do want to circle back to like, with all these crazy shit that's
Mm.
happening, especially, I hate to keep targeting the woke people,
But
the
it's hard
the
not to.
lefties, which hey, come on now. Can we not call them lefties? I'm offended here. I'm a lefty. I'm a left-handed artist. But no, it's just I do find it amusing how like I definitely don't want to go into this rabbit hole of a discussion, but the stuff that's going on with Israel,
Mm. It's
right?
just
Like I um I will say I'm not as informed as a lot of these activists,
same, same.
but just the fact that like it's just like it's crazy that you have so all that energy to like pick a side, right? You have to pick a side now. You either want to free Palestine or the other, right?
At
Um,
some point, it just became football.
yeah. And it's
That's
just
the
like,
problem.
dude, you know what? It's just like come back to the ground and just be present.
Mm.
Be present with your environment, with your
Mm.
surroundings. Worry about your own problems that are like physically affecting you, right? Um, yeah. So I yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Because sometimes it's like,
It's
are you really
it's
that thankful if
it's
you're worried
it's
about
it's
like
too
global
it's too
issues?
soon. Maybe it's too soon. Let
Maybe.
it mellow. And I mean, the to talk about this topic, it's kind of sensitive right now. It's kind of too
I mean, no,
soon.
it is. I mean, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, we're not gonna get into it. But I'm just saying, it's like I don't know, because like people are very much, they say like, oh, if you're not taking a stance, you're part of the problem, and it's like
That yo, I don't
that.
agree with
So
that.
that's what I was kind of circling around. Rather, is
Yeah.
that like I think it's just we just let's just stop from people dying. Let's stop. bombing. Let's stop sending missiles. Like, I mean, obviously, right? We all wish for world peace. But if I'm gonna be super realistic, I need to occupy myself, my mind, I gotta spend my energy productively by doing the things I actually enjoy doing, you know, run my business, create my art. If I keep putting all my energy into these being like an activist or a social justice warrior, whatever blank is, right? Whatever it be. Like I'm not what am I fulfilling here, right? What am I accomplishing? So I just think it's like important to try to step back and reflect a little bit and just be thankful. Be thankful of what you have, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. And
Um,
if you are going to talk about it, just be mindful that you're talking about people. You're not
yeah.
talking about animal. I mean, both sides. You're not talking about animals or plants or whatever. Even if you were, but still, you're talking about lives. And everything you said is related to or is
You
regarding
could apply to
those
anything too,
people.
right? So,
Anything.
yeah. So, that being said, let's put a ribbon on this thing with the inspirational quote, shall we? Well, actually, do you have any last words? Anything you want to
Well,
bring up?
I'm just glad to be here. I'm just glad we have this moment. I'm just glad we can talk. Like, yeah,
For
this is
real.
great. It
Yeah,
is.
man. Well, I mean, you know how I feel about it, about our interactions. So yeah, I'm glad that we you made it happen. Um, so I'll just, for like the new audience members, at the end of most episodes, I like to share an inspirational quote. This one today that I will be sharing is a quote by the legendary Bruce Lee. That's
Mm,
right. Yes. This one's a bit lengthy, but it certainly resonates with me. And I think this is something
okay.
could certainly resonate with a lot of people. So here it is. The quote says, self knowledge involves relationship. To know
Mm,
oneself is to study oneself in action with another person. The relationship is a process of self evaluation and self revelation. The relationship is the mirror in which you discover yourself. To
mm,
be is to be related.
mm. It makes sense. It does make sense. It's similar to that example you gave about finding something in common with other people. Like you realize more about you know more about yourself when you pay attention to other people's behavior that might resonate with the way you think, with the way you would act. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's,
And
it's
something I
powerful.
something I've been vocal about too, and this relates, this is the connection with self evolution and self revelation. Like
Oh, sure.
I've always been vocal about um why I love doing this, why I love doing the podcast, because through conversation, through our
Mm-hmm.
discussions, I do I believe I do evolve. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
not greatly, but I do believe there are these small evolutions that,
Mm-hmm.
as a person, but also, and this is just me speaking personally, I do actually learn something. I do learn a little something about myself as well
Mm-hmm.
while I'm speaking to other people.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm learning something new about myself, or I'm reminded
Mm-hmm.
of like why I think the way I think, or why I speak the way I speak, or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I chose this quote. It really resonated with me. But I also just think it's important to yeah, just to keep interacting with people, and
Mm-hmm.
you know when possible, try to interact in person.
Yeah.
Social media is great, right? We talked about this. Social media is great. It allows this between you and I.
Mm-hmm.
um but it's also important to be able to have interpersonal communication.
Interactions. Okay, communications.
Yeah.
And like really, sometimes we need to go deep because sometimes we get stuck in like a mundane conversation. How are you? I'm good. How was work? Our work was fine. How was the weekend? Blah blah blah, and that's it. We don't even go deep. We can go deep. We can like discuss real things that are happening right now, things that we all go through, like share different point of views. Like, what do you think about this? Like growing up, your upbringings, what you thought about that? Blah blah blah. So this is good because you learn something new every day by
Yeah.
talking, by simply listening to other people's experience, which is like it's magical almost. So yeah, I
Well,
agree.
that and also like, when you're able to do it, like to converse with somebody, face to face.
Yeah,
You're not missing any social cues. You're
yeah,
actually able to gather the context of what they're
yeah.
trying to say.
Mhm.
Especially if you're having a debate, a heated debate. At least if you're doing it in person, right? They're all direct, they're all immediate responses, as opposed to like
Yeah.
if you're gonna try to hold a debate in a comment section, good fucking luck, man, because that
Misinterpretation is like big time.
like misinterpretation and then just like like
They have this picture of you. They don't even know you. They don't even know how you're acting, like how what you're
right.
really trying to say. And yeah, just
Yeah, and you just don't know when things are actually being received, right? Like if you long like I know I've gone on rants about this, but if you go on this long tangent in the comments, like what are the chances of that person actually reading that whole thing, right?
yeah.
But if you said that to their face, like you're gonna get a reaction immediately, you know?
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
like always been my point about communication, at least face to face. That's
Mm.
why I value it so much. And again, that's why I value the way we communicate. Sometimes, yeah, we do it with text, DMs, but then we do take we use that option to do voice messages so we can get the context of what we're saying.
We
Um,
kind of we kind of digi evolved into calls now. Yeah.
yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, so like that's like kind of like my hope for just like I guess the future of society is like to have those like organic
Mm.
communications. So anyway, that being said, for everyone who has been tuning in, I want to thank you, especially if you've been tuning in with us to all the way through. Thank you for being here with us. If you haven't already, please follow, subscribe, leave a comment if you feel the need to, especially if you have any questions. Leave it in the comments. Please share with your friends if you think there's something in here that may relate to them. And yeah, if you want to follow us on social media, those links will be provided in the show descriptions. Gerson is an artist, as I mentioned in the very beginning, and he's got some amazing work on his page. So definitely
Parentheses old.
whatever, whatever. So yeah, Gerson, he may not be as active of an artist, but he
Yeah.
still has amazing work that you can check out. Um, so please do so afterwards. But yeah, so do all the good things to help the podcast grow. And yeah, with that being said, please stay safe, stay healthy, and stay driven. And we shall catch you all on the next one. Peace out.